Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see what this looks like. Okay. So, today we're talking about how to stop living vicariously through others. Why is that important? Because I've heard some people say that to me, and I think that's sort of strange. And I know that I have said it before about myself. Uh, I've said it before regarding other people. Um, and so now that I sort of worked through that space in my life, I feel like it's sort of my responsibility to sort of share, um, number one, why that's such a dangerous mindset, living vicariously through other people, as well as maybe some advice to be able to help you get out of that space if that um, if that resonates with you. So, what does it mean to live vicariously through somebody else? Um, it means that you kind of wish that you were someone else, or there's an aspect of your life that you're unhappy with, and that you would like it to be like someone else's. The issue with that is um, that's sort of wasted energy. It's wasted energy. When you're sitting back looking at all these other different things, um, all these other people, all these other experiences that are not yours, and you're just sort of looking at other people partially envious, it sort of says to the universe that you don't believe that what this person has is something that you can have. That's number one. Number two, it can also mean that what you have, you believe that what you have is not enough. And none of that is true. Now, there's that what I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with like healthy admiration. Like you can admire someone from afar and say, wow, look at how that person is really doing well. I would like for my life to look like that. Or you can be inspired by somebody else's example. Um, but saying that you're living vicariously through that person means that instead of working to change whatever about your life is not working, um, you would rather put that energy into um, watching what everyone else is doing. Excuse me. So, what I have learned is that changing your life requires you to be present to what what actually is happening in your life. And that really requires being honest about what works and what doesn't. And that's sort of difficult for people, like sitting down and being honest with what works and what doesn't in your life. We spend because we build so many other habits and activities that sort of deflect us from the things that we don't like about our lives, because um, being honest requires some real work. It requires some real thought about what's going on. And once you're honest about what's going on, it also requires that you make some hard decisions. You have to start making some decisions to change, as opposed to doing what most of us do, which is we do things to distract us. So in my case, I'll use myself as an example. What I have done in the past is instead of focusing on how unhappy I was with my life, I would stuff my face with food, use food as a way to be able to distract myself from my life. So the taste of the food, um, the temporary satisfaction of getting a new meal um, would distract me from the truth that there were a lot of things in my life that needed to change. Sometimes I would use social media. I would look at other people's lives and what they were doing and the trips that people were taking and the money that they were making and the type of family that they had and all sorts of other things. Instead of saying, okay, Helena, what are the pieces in these other people's lives that you like, and what is it that you can do within your life to be able to get there? Um, Sometimes we will use things like gossiping about other people. If we don't know really what other people are doing in their lives to be able to get the thing that they want, um, then we'll sort of make something up and sort of gossip about what other people are doing instead of being focused on what we're doing in our own lives. Sometimes some people would use taking care of other people to distract themselves. And the reason why this is important is because if you're a people pleaser, like I am, I'm a recovering people pleaser. When we take the effort to be able to take care of other people, we expect to be able to get the thing that we want out of life from that other person. And when we don't get it, we're disappointed. We may even be angry at the other person for not giving us the thing that we want, when really they're just taking what it is that you offered them. You want to take care of me in some way, shape, or form? I'll take it. But it doesn't fix the fact that you are still unhappy with your life. What else? We focus on things like getting more degrees. We want to be um, validated by other people, other institutions. We want to strive for the next promotion. Nothing wrong with getting degrees and getting a promotion, but when we do it for outside reasons, to be able to impress others, to be able to put it on your resume, um, instead of from a making these moves to do these things because it resonates with you deeply for you to be able to make your next best move for your life, then it's just a distraction. We'll use relationships with other people as a way to distract us. And of course, when we don't get it, we're angry and we're resentful and all sorts of other things. So, one of the things that have gotten me out of that space of living vicariously through others was to be able to learn how to sit with myself, mostly in meditation, mostly in meditation. And this is why meditation has really been important for me. Um, I used to think that meditation was just something that I would use to be able to take you to sit down and quiet your mind, which is really impossible. Your mind never really goes quiet, but really sitting down to meditate means that you sit down to really think about um, who is speaking in your mind. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? Watch what you're thinking about without really processing it or judging it, which is really strange. It took me a good year to really be able to understand of regular meditating for like 5 to 10 minutes a day before I really started to sort of understand what it meant to really meditate, which is to really watch your thoughts and to see what your thoughts are doing. It's like there's like a third person in your head, and then there's like thoughts and things, and you're just sort of watching the thoughts instead of getting involved in the thoughts. You're sort of watching what the thoughts are doing, and you just take note of it somewhere in your head. You take note. You say, okay, this is what I'm distracted with. Things something someone said 10 years ago. I'm still upset about this thing, or somebody cut me off when I was driving, and that sort of made me angry. And what you do after your meditation session is that you turn to journaling to be able to sort of use that as a reflection space to be able to sort of figuring out what's there. And what I found is that over time, that the meditation and the journaling sort of works together for you to be able to become more self-aware and self-reflective on what it is that's going on in your life. And of course, once you're self-aware, once you understand what it is um, that's going on, you can start to sort of ask questions. Well, how did I get here in my thought? Why am I living vicariously through this person? Why do I believe that I can't have that kind of money that someone else has? Why do I believe that I can't have the sort of job or career that someone else has? Why do I believe that I can't have the type of family this other person has? And these are all really great questions. And it's here that you can sit. It depends on the person. I'm not really a much of a therapy person. I've gone to therapy a few times, and I've always sort of found it to be, it's not useful for me. However, I do know that it is useful for some other people. They find it helpful. For me at this point, I sort of I'm able to work through things on my own, and then once I find an answer to the thing that I need, and I need someone to help me get to it, then I'll hire a coach or some sort of a health expert or someone else to be able to get to the point, rather than a therapist who just sort of, I don't know, they just sort of help you and sit with thoughts and feelings, which can be useful for a time. I did use a therapist a couple of times, and they were useful to help me get through the feeling of, the feelings that were blocking me from getting to some answers. But after the first couple of times, I was like, okay, I'm sort of done with this. I'm ready to move on to an answer now. So you got to kind of figure out for yourself um, what works for you as far as using a therapist or using some sort of a coach or an expert to be able to help you get to what it is that you need. So that's how I would suggest how to stop living vicariously through others, because it can really be a dangerous thing for you to do. It's so much wasted energy in looking at other people and living vicariously through others and sort of hoping and wishing and praying that you could have their lives. And you really can't. It's never going to happen. You cannot have somebody else's life. You can't. And if you're going to take the good parts of someone's life, then um, you also have to take some of the bad parts of their life as well. So if you really sat down and you spoke to those people that you see on social media, some of the friends that you might be envious of, and really talk to them about how it is that they got to the point where they got the thing that it is that you are envious of, or the thing that you want and you believe that you can't have, then you might want to rethink that. So if you spend more time with yourself or on yourself, on trying to figure out, becoming more self-aware on how it is and why it is that you got to the point where you are in your life, then that's energy that can be used to be able to sort of start to transmute some of that envious energy into doing something that could actually move your life through the next part of the thing that you want to be able to attain. So, question of the day: what habit is keeping you from living your best life? What habit is keeping you from living your best life? You can write the answer down in the comment section. Again, I am working with people. If you're interested in building a location independent business like I've got, if you want to build a location independent business as a freelance writer, I can help you. Click on the link below in the description box, or you can go to halanablack.com and click on freelance writer coaching. Please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like more content or information like this. And I will see you in another video tomorrow. Peace. Have a good day.